The following presentation is intended to explain the role of materials within the ELT curriculum, departing from a needs analysis to ensure effective teaching and learning. This presentation was created by the following students: language learning materials are usually associated with course books. However, Halim and Halim 2016 claim that materials are not limited to mere textbooks. They assert that materials can be anything used by teachers or learners to facilitate the learning of a language, such as videos, dictionaries, readers, workbooks, photocopied exercises, newspapers, live talks, tasks written on cards, and so much more. Materials play a crucial role in the creation of effective teaching and learning environments. Thus, they are of significant importance in the language learning process. According to Halim and Halim 2016, there are two ways of approaching the use of materials. One is adaptation, and the other one is adoption. So, on the one hand, materials adaptation is the application of some strategies to make the textbook more effective and flexible. Hence, adjusting and or changing some parts or a complete coursebook represents adaptation of that material. There are some principles and procedures of adapting teaching materials. We have adding, which implies that materials are supplemented by putting more into them. We have deleting, which is the opposite process to that of addition and usually work together because material may be taken out and then replaced with something else. We also have modifying, which is changing something in order to improve it or make it more acceptable. Simplifying, which is a type of modification where things are made simpler to be better understood. Reordering, which is putting the parts of a course book in different order. That means adjusting the sequence of the presentation within a unit or taking units in a different sequence from that originally intended. Núñez and Telles 2016 discussed the importance of reflective practice in the adaptation of materials. They state that reflective practice is a twofold concept implying a dialogue of thinking and doing through which teachers become more skillful. Thus, the fact that teachers reflect on what is taking place inside the classroom enables them to make better decisions when creating or adapting material in order to fulfill particular students' needs and learning settings. On the other hand, we have materials adoption, which means that very little or no changes at all are made to a textbook, because the book is considered as the authority. Nonetheless, there is some criticism towards materials adoption, given that some educators, particularly novice teachers, might implement course books as a memorization tool for the students. Furthermore, some experienced teachers claim that coursebooks do not always fulfill learners' needs. However, the Rishi 2016 explains that this issue is not completely negative because it allows teachers to have a better overview of the situation with the available materials in the market and use this information in their needs analysis. Needs analysis, also known as needs assessment, refers to the systematic investigation of the needs, lacks, and wants to improve the design of a language course. Needs analysis tends to be associated with English for specific purposes and is often disregarded in the general English classroom. However, according to Long, No language teaching program should be designed without a thorough needs analysis. Similarly, Nunez and Telles, 2009, assert that needs analysis procedures represent a central ingredient in the development of language learning materials. During needs analysis, researchers need to collect information to develop a profile of the language needs of a group of learners to make decisions about the goals and content of the course or curriculum and the materials to be used. This analysis will mostly benefit teachers and learners, leading to effective teaching and learning settings. So, as Pineda 2001 claims, needs assessment should be the point of departure to make academic decisions such as syllabi development, instructional strategies, and material selection, as well as assessment and evaluation implementation. This assertion means that not only that needs analysis should be a mandatory phase in curriculum and syllabus design because it determines which language skills are most needed by students in the curriculum and syllabus are then created accordingly. But it also means that by identifying the needs, it is much easier to include the most appropriate materials that address and meet those needs. Another aspect that results relevant in the selection of materials is setting goals and objectives. These terms are defined by Graves 1997, who states that goals are the general or overall long term purposes of a course, and objectives are the specific form in which goals will be attained. Hence, establishing goals and objectives will provide a sense of direction and will help the teacher in the selection of the most appropriate materials for the course. These actions, in turn, will allow teachers to make opportune decisions that foster a harmonious and efficient development of their classes and the attainment of students' learning objectives, which will add up to effective teaching as well. Overall, it can be stated that even if publishers and teachers sometimes ignore the importance of needs analysis in the development of language learning materials, it is undeniable that selecting the appropriate textbooks and making a suitable adaptation of them should be in line with students' needs. Nunez and Telles 2006 argue that these teacher developed materials boost not only effective learning settings and outcomes, but also teachers' pedagogical practice and performance. They further state that the teaching materials by themselves are not sufficient to create effective teaching and learning settings since a lively EFL or ESL classroom depends largely on good materials used in creative and resourceful ways. So language materials also need to lead their students to have materials interact appropriately with their needs and interests in order to facilitate learning. Thus, when teachers develop their own material, they also contribute to their professional growth as they improve their knowledge, skills, and creativity, raise their consciousness as regards teaching and learning procedures, and act as agents of permanent change. The following references were used to create this presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.